Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Today is Wednesday, July 12, 2023. Coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. One of the dumbest members of Congress, alum Senator Tommy Tuberville, on the defensive after he stands up and defends white nationalists. Several Republicans denounced him for doing so. Vote Vets has a new ad out blasting him as well. We'll show you that as well. Oh, nothing like white men showing exactly who the hell they are. Senator Rand Paul makes a racist statement regarding college basketball players receiving money, claiming they will turn into rap stars, driving Bentleys while attacking antitrust laws in sports. Daddy was a racist, and so is he. Republican now represents a 90% Democratic area in Georgia. State Representative Meisha Mainor says she's taking a moral stand by switching up on the people who put her in office. In Texas A&M, I ain't done. I got more thoughts on how they disrespected, dishonored, and shamefully treated a black journalist and graduate of the university, Kathleen McElroy. Now, Tech Talk segment, the creator of the Party Starter will explain how you can plan any event with your fingertips. Plus, recap the Jeffery Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. Wait till we show you Jeffery Osborne, Smokey Robinson, Johnny Gill singing My Girl. It's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
If you want to find out who's racist, all you got to do is just wait for them to open their mouth. That is Alabama U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville, who continues to stand up for white nationalists, calling them Americans. Now, Tuberville, who's intentionally blocking military promotions over a Pentagon policy granting leave for active duty service members seeking reproductive health care, says America needs white nationalists in the military. and he thinks classifying white nationalists as racist, well, that's just your dadgum opinion. Watch this.
We're showing our adversaries we're weak. All we got to do is go back and look at Joe Biden's, what he's done to our military with the woke ideas, with the CRT that we're teaching in our military. We are losing in the military so fast, our readiness in terms of recruitment. And why? I can tell you why. Because the Democrats are attacking our military, saying we need to get out the white extremists, the white nationalists, people that don't believe in our agenda as his Joe Biden agenda. They're destroying it. This year, we will not reach any recruiting goals in the military. So if we want to talk about looking weak, that's where we're going to look weak. We cannot start putting rules in there for one type, one group, and make different factions in the military, because that is the most important institution in the United States of America and our allies, is a strong, hard-nosed killing machine, which is called our military.
You mentioned the Biden administration trying to prevent white nationalists from being in the military. Do you believe they should allow white nationalists in the military?
Well, they call them that. I call them Americans. What happened after January the 6th, and I was here on January the 6th, we were attacked on the Senate floor saying that all these people that came into the Capitol were extremists. They were against the country. There was a lot of people, there was probably 100 of them that came in, broke windows and broke doors that should have been locked up. That's not how we do it in America, but there were hundreds of thousands that didn't come in outside that were true Americans that believe in this country.
Well, that's what they called them. Well, that was May 10th. This was the other day on CNN, and the idiot, still an idiot.
I do want to give you a chance to clarify some comments you made recently on white nationalists serving in the military. For those who are watching, if they haven't heard your remarks, this is what you said.
Do you believe they should allow white nationalists in the military?
Well, they call them that. I call them Americans.
Do you want to explain those comments, Senator?
Yeah, first of all, I'm totally against any type of racism, okay? I was a football coach for 40 years, and I dealt and had opportunity to be around more minorities than anybody up here on this hill. But when our military has been attacked, was being attacked after 9/11, after January the 6th, and that was my first day on the
because he was a football coach, he been around more minorities on the Hill. I think it's some black people who represent black people might could take exception to that dumbass comment. But then again, we are talking about a fool. Press play.
Floor. I thought it was outrageous of what senators from the Democratic side, Chuck Schumer said on the floor that night, calling out people, calling people racist, calling people nationalists, white nationalists. White nationalists is just another word that they want to use other than racism. I'm totally against anything to do with racism. But the thing about being a white nationalist is just a cover word for the Democrats now, where they can use it to try to make people mad across the country, identity politics. I'm totally against that. But I'm for the American people. I'm for military. I'm for Christian conservatives, Democrats, whoever wants to be in the military to fight for this country, to protect this country. That's what it's all about.
But just to be clear, you agree that white nationalists should not be serving in the U.S. military. Is that what you're saying?
If people think that a white nationalist is a racist, I agree with that. I agree they should.
A white nationalist is someone who believes that the white race is superior to other races.
Well, that's some people's opinion. And I don't think,
That's not opinion.
Pardon?
What's your opinion?
My opinion of a white nationalist, if somebody wants to call him white nationalist, to me is an American. It's an American. Now, if that white nationalist is a racist, I'm totally against anything that they want to do, because I am 110% against racism. But I want somebody that's in our military, that's strong, that believes in this country, That's an American that will fight along anybody, whether it's a man or woman, black or white, red. It doesn't make any difference. And so I'm totally against identity politics. I think it's ruining this country, and I think that Democrats ought to be ashamed for how they're doing this, because it's dividing this country and it's making this country weaker every day.
But that's not identity politics. You said a white nationalist is an American.
It is identity politics.
You said a white nationalist is an American, but a white nationalist is someone who believes horrific things. Do you really think that's someone who should be serving in the military?
Well, that's just a name that has been given. I mean,
it's not. It's a real definition. There's real concerns about extremism.
So if you're going to do away with most white people in this country out of the military, we got huge problems.
It's not. Huge problems. It's not people who are white. It's white nationalists
that have a few probably different beliefs.
Right?
That have different beliefs. Now, if racism is one of those beliefs, I'm totally against it. I am totally against racism.
But
there's a lot of people that believe in different things.
Is racist, Senator.
Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. But if it's racism, I'm totally against it. I am totally against any type of race or any type of racism. I don't care what it's in.
Well, the next day, an ABC reporter asked Tuberville about his definition of a racist.
Can you explain why you continue to insist that white nationalists are American?
Listen, I'm totally against racism. And if the Democrats want to say that white nationalists are racist, I'm totally against that too.
But that's not a Democratic definition. The definition of a white nationalist is someone.
My definition.
It is the definition. The definition is that the belief that the white race is superior to all other races.
Totally out of the question.
So do you believe that white nationalists are racist?
Yes, if that's what a racist is, yes. Thank you.
That is the definition.
Well, that, of course, came after a number of Republicans lit his ass up.
You know, white supremacy is simply unacceptable in the military and in our whole country.
But do you agree that white nationalists are racist?
If you're a white nationalist, absolutely.
Well, Tuberville said back then to Chuck Schumer and them Democrats on January 6th, they were just sitting there calling all different people racist, and they were just throwing that stuff around. They were calling them racist. Do y'all recall this on January 6th? So I'm gonna go to my iPad in a second, y'all. Remember the white boy who was walking around with the Confederate flag? So explain to me how that ain't racist. So he was complaining about Democrats yelling racism. Well, if I see a fool walk around with a Confederate flag, I'm probably going to call him a racist. Folks, let's be real clear. The Republican Party knows full well that the racist who are white nationalists votes for them. They know this. That's why they're appealing to them. And that's why Senator Chuck Schumer, Democratic Majority Leader, blasted Tuberville on the floor of the Senate.
Last night, given another chance to clear the air, he suggested that no, white nationalists aren't inherently racist, that yes, white nationalism is American, and that the definition of white nationalism is a matter of opinion. It's hard to believe that the senator from Alabama has to be corrected again. The senator from Alabama is wrong, wrong, wrong. The definition of white nationalism is not a matter of opinion. White nationalism, the ideology that one race is inherently superior to others, that people of color should be segregated, subjected, and relegated to second-class citizenship, is racist down to its rotten core. And for the senator from Alabama to obscure the racist nature of white nationalism is indeed very, very dangerous. His words have power and carry weight with the fringe of his constituency, just the fringe. But if that fringe listens to him, excuse and defend white nationalism, he is fanning the flames of bigotry and intolerance. Last week, the gunman who killed 23 people in El Paso Walmart was sentenced to 90 life terms in prison. He was a self-described white nationalist. The man who murdered 10 people at the top supermarket in my home state of New York, in Buffalo, was a white nationalist. And if those examples aren't clear enough, let's not forget Charlottesville, where neo-fascists, alt-right radicals, and far-right militias paraded through the streets carrying torches and chanted, quote, "Jews will not replace us." Those were white nationalists. This isn't a joke. This is deadly serious stuff. And for a member of the United States Senate to speculate about what white nationalism means as if it's some benign little thought experiment is deeply and terribly disturbing. I urge my Republican colleagues to impress upon the senator from Alabama the destructive impact of his words and urge him to apologize.
Now, Tuberville has been blocking military promotions because he claims that they're paying for abortions, and they're not. And so then, I'm super military. I'm the man. You never even served. You're a 68-year-old white man. You never even served. So stop it. Vote Vets dropped this ad specifically targeting this idiot.
Every day, crises pop up all around the world. Crises you may never hear about. And the world's greatest military is ever on alert, ready to defend us against any threat, with our best and brightest seated in positions of command. But what if they're not? For months, one lone senator, Tommy Tuberville, who never served in uniform himself, has held hostage hundreds of military assignments just to force his MAGA social agenda on women in the ranks, freezing all promotions for top military posts to the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, leaving mission-critical positions to go vacant. Our enemies are watching, looking for any vulnerabilities to exploit. And MAGA Senator Tommy Tuberville is playing right into their hands, playing political games with our national security. And not one Republican in Congress will stand up to him and let our troops keep us safe.
Senator Tammy Duckworth, who lost several limbs in the military, she blasted this fool today in a committee hearing.
For the first time in over 100 years, we do not have a commandant of the Marine Corps. Someone who can have the full power and authority of a commandant. This is absolutely unacceptable. We have all of these officers and their families. My colleagues talk about and laud the family members for their service. We have family members who are being pulled out of schools, unable to start a new school term. We have spouses who cannot start a new job, who've lost their jobs. The entire military readiness is slowly grinding to a halt, and it is going to get worse every single day because Senator Tuberville has injected politics into this. And you know who gets hurt the most on this? Our lowest ranking. It is the youngest women in the military. It is the spouses of the youngest men in the military who have to ask for a pass from their sergeants to leave their duty station so that they can go take care of their health care needs. And what we are telling them, what Senator Tuberville is telling them is, I don't care about you. Thank you for your service, but you cannot take care of your own health care or your spouse's health care. And to simply put this as this is a political thing and this is about the military providing abortion is absolutely categorically untrue because the military is not providing abortions in this instance. Now, let me also be clear that our men and women in uniform face so many hardships. They should be able to take care of themselves and their family members. Bottom line.
Well, you're dealing with an idiot, y'all. That's who he is, it's what he is. We're gonna go to break, we come back, we're gonna discuss this with our panel and talk about how this is electoral politics because the Republican Party, they appeal to the bigots in America. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
For decades, the tobacco industry has deliberately targeted Black communities and kids with marketing for menthol cigarettes. It's had a devastating impact on Black health. Tobacco use claims 45,000 Black lives every year. It's the #1 cause of preventable death. In the 1950s, less than 10% of Black smokers used menthol cigarettes. Today, it's 85%. Menthol cools and numbs the throat, making it easier for kids to start smoking. Menthol also increases addiction, making it harder for smokers to quit. Menthol cigarettes are a big reason why Black Americans have a harder time quitting smoking and die at higher rates from smoking-related diseases like cancer, heart disease, and stroke. It's time to stop Big Tobacco from profiting off Black lives. An FDA ban on menthol cigarettes will improve Black health, save lives, and protect future generations from addiction. Learn more at tobaccofreekids.org/ban menthol.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Hey, what's up? It's Sammy Roman.
Hey, it's John Murray, the executive producer of the new Sherry Shepherd Talk Show.
It's me, Sherry Shepherd, and you know what you're watching, Roland Martin Unfiltered.
My panel, Robert Patillo hosts People, Passion, and Politics News Talk, 1380 WAOK out of Atlanta. Rebecca Carruthers, Vice President, Fair Elections Center. She's in D.C. Killa Bethea, Communication Strategist in D.C. as well. Rebecca. I'm not a racist, and I don't, I'm racist, and so I've been around a lot of Black people, a lot of minorities, and so I know them people.
Who do you want to take that one?
You?
Okay. As I have the giggles. You know, I find it incredibly disingenuous on both sides of the aisle with the notion that people did not think that Tuberville was racist in the first place. This man has not changed. He has been abundantly clear on where he stands in all of his policies and all of his rhetoric. At this point, it's not even a dog whistle anymore. It's a freaking bullhorn. And it is just, it should not surprise me, but it does when people are like, oh my gosh, he doesn't think that white nationalism is racist. Well, he's a white nationalist. Of course he wouldn't think that he's racist. You know, he literally said, oh, I coach Black people. I'm not racist. Like, what are we doing here? I feel like it is very, very fake of the politicians on the Hill to think and insinuate that he is ignorant. He is incredibly smart. And that's more or less how he even got, elected in the first place, with these dog whistles that are really bullhorns, with this rhetoric that is inherently racist, with these policies that are not just conservative, not just right-wing, but racist. It should not be a surprise to anyone where this man is coming from, because he's been saying it all along. This isn't even a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's naked at this point with his racism. I don't understand why this is shocking to anyone. I think, if anything, people are feigning shock in order to placate their own respective bases, because up until this point, they just let this man be.
The thing here, Robert, is He's holding a progress, and the senators are letting him move forward with this. And this is where, if you're Democrats, you say, all right, Republicans, we're pulling every blue slip. You want to play these games? We got you. We're going to ignore all of your holds on any nominees. This is how you have to play hardball with this fool.
You know, I actually support Tommy Tuberville on this. I wish more Republican senators would be this honest. Do we really believe that Mitch McConnell isn't racist because he spoke out against white nationalists? Do we really believe that Rick Scott isn't racist because he said Tommy Tuberville was wrong to talk about white nationalists in this nature? No, they just simply know how to play the political game better, and they can have the same racist policies. They just won't say the quiet part out loud. I like when people tell me exactly who they are. I like when people are honest. I'm glad that Tommy Tuberville laid out exactly his position. And I reposted this interview when it happened, and I had conservatives hop all over Instagram talking about he's right. To be a white nationalist doesn't mean that you're racist. What is racist about it? I like knowing exactly where people stand. I don't want somebody spitting at me and telling me that it's raining. I want to know exactly where you stand on these positionings. So the idea that the segregationist senator from Alabama might be racist isn't exactly breaking news for me. That has been pretty much the exact thing you can say about every Alabama senator since the founding of Alabama. But what I do think we have to concentrate on is exactly what Tammy Duckworth was talking about. The fact that one senator can degrade American military readiness, and the fact that at a point in time when China is on the ascendancy, as the Republicans keep telling us, when military readiness is at an all-time low, as Republicans keep telling us, when you have Russia on the march in Eastern Europe, which Republicans keep telling us, you have a Republican senator blocking the military, blocking appointments, and simply put, in the next election cycle, they will still run out here carrying the American flag, waving it, saying how much they support their military, but Democrats have to hold their feet to the fire on exactly this, the fact that they are holding up medical treatment for female military members. You have enough sense to go sacrifice yourself and put yourself in harm's way to defend America, but we don't think you have enough sense to make healthcare choices for yourself. So I'm not worried about the segregationist senator being a segregationist senator. I just remind people that but for Herschel Walker losing, Tommy Tuberville wouldn't even be the dumbest senator in the United States Senate. He would be, bottom 2 or 3, but he wouldn't even be the lowest on the totem pole. We need to be holding their feet to the fire. You're exactly correct. Democrats have to ignore Tommy Tuberville, go directly around him. Look at the United States Supreme Court right now. President Obama could have done a recess appointment with Merrick Garland, but he decided to play by the rules, play by Mitch McConnell's rules, and that's why we have a 6-3 Republican majority on the Supreme Court. That's why we don't have affirmative action. That's why we had a segregation ruling. That's why we don't have women's health care. So I don't give a damn about Tommy Tuberville. I do not care about his positioning. I do not care about him being a segregationist. He can go back to Alabama right now, but I do think Democrats have to go directly around him and then dare Republicans to do something about it. Dare them to go to the American people and say, I'm telling, they went around us when we were trying to block the military. They're not going to do it. Call their bluff on this. And also for black athletes out there, you hear the way these SEC and ACC coaches talk about you. Are you really you really want to go play for them where you can go play at Clark Atlanta or Morehouse or Grambling or FAMU or anywhere else? The NFL and the NBA will find you. You do not need to go play for an old segregationist head coach in order to make it to the league anymore.
Rebecca?
I mean, I'm at a loss here. I almost want to defend Tommy Tuberville also, because here's the thing. He literally said he's not racist because of osmosis. He said because you coloreds played on my football teams, I can't be racist because I was around you. He then said, well, you coloreds are also on the Hill, and I deign to bring my existence around you, so therefore I'm not racist. And I guess according to him, old school racism, or how he defines racism is, well, if I don't like you coloreds, because I'm using that word, kind of want to use the other word, if I don't like you coloreds, then you wouldn't be in front of me. And he feels like he has progressed from the previous generation of racists that maybe he descended from. I don't know. But bottom line, thinking back to that Republican primary, it was him or Jeff Sessions. And so for Mitch McConnell and Rick Scott and for the rest of them to act like, oh, no, that's not what we do. That's not what our party is. But you're scraping at the bottom of the barrel. And quite frankly, yeah, you know, I would rather that racists in Congress, racists in the police, racists in the military would just show us who they are and wear their hoods and let us know that, yep, I'm a racist. I would much rather that. But I will also say, Robert, to your point, it wasn't just the ACC and SEC. I grew up in Big 8 territory. It also happened in the other conferences as well.
Yeah, it's called America. All right, y'all, gotta go to break. We come back. The hood comes off of Rand Paul during a Senate hearing. Boy, they really don't like it when the blacks start making money. Wait till we show you what this fool actually said. You're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, y'all. We want to be over 1,000 likes in the next 10 minutes, so let's make that thing happen. That's first. 2, download our Black Star Network app. Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. You can also, of course, join our Brain and Funk fan club. Your dolls make it possible for us to do what we do. And that is, of course, cover stores all across the country with our staff. Look, your dollars are absolutely needed. Our goal is to get 20,000 fans contributing at least $50 a year, $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. Send check and money orders to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland@RolandSMartin.com. Roland@RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. And be sure to get a copy of my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America is Making White Folks Lose Their Minds. Available at bookstores nationwide. Download your copy on Audible. We'll be right back.
My early days on the road, I've learned, well, first of all, as a musician, I studied not only piano, but I was also drummer and percussion. I was all city percussion as well. So I was one of the best in the city on percussion.
There you go.
Also studied trumpet, cello, violin, and bass, and any other instrument I could get my hand on. And with that study, I'd learned again what was for me. I learned what it meant to do what the instruments in the orchestra meant to each other in the relationships.
Right.
So that prepared me to be a leader. That prepared me to lead orchestras and to conduct orchestras. That prepared me to know to be a leader of men, they have to respect you and know that you know the music. You have to be the teacher of the music. You have to know the music better than anybody.
There you go.
Right, so you can't walk in unprepared.
Up next on The Frequency with me, Dee Barnes. She's known as the Angela Davis of hip-hop. Monet Smith, better known as Medusa, the gangster goddess, the undisputed queen of West Coast underground hip-hop.
Pop locking is really what indoctrinated me in hip-hop. I don't even think I realized it was hip-hop at that time.
Right.
You know, it was a happening. It was a moment of release.
We're going to be getting into her career, knowing her whole story, and breaking down all the elements of hip-hop. This week on The Frequency, only on the Black Star Network.
Hey, what's up? Geek Tony in the place to be. Got Kicked Out Your Mama's University, creator and executive producer of Fat Tuesdays, an air hip-hop comedy. But right now, I'm rolling with Roland Martin, unfiltered, uncut, unplugged, and undamn believable. You hear me?
Black Georgia Democrat says my party has left me She says that she's been at odds with Democrats over the issue of school choice as well as defund the police. So State Representative Meisha Mainor with a Twitter to say she is switching parties. Now, mind you, her district is 90% Democrat. She was elected 2021. She said, quote, "My name is Representative Meisha Mainor, and today I made the decision to leave the Democratic Party. I represent a blue district in the city of Atlanta, so this wasn't a political decision for me. It was a moral one. I will never apologize for being a black woman with a mind of my own." She now is Georgia's only black GOP member, and she told Atlanta affiliate WSB what led to her decision.
There have been several bills that have passed in the last 3 legislative sessions that I've been here at the Capitol. And it's clear that there are some value differences, mainly in education, public safety, and victim rights. Every single thing that I have done at the Capitol, and when I mean everything, every single thing since I was elected, my former colleagues have tried to sabotage it.
Now, she also posted this reason on Twitter: "I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democrat Party left me when it embraced left-wing radicalism, lawlessness, and put the interests of illegal aliens over the interests of Americans. I have nothing to apologize for." Congresswoman Nikema Williams, who heads the Georgia Democratic Party, released the following statement. She said Representative Meisha Mainor's switch to the GOP is a stinging betrayal of her constituents who elected a Democrat to represent them in the state legislature. House District 56 deserves a representative who would do the job they were elected to do, including fight for high-quality public education. Georgia Democrats look forward to electing a strong Democrat next year in HD 56 who will serve the people, not personal political ambitions. In an April interview with Axios, Mainor said she had never switched parties and intends to run for re-election when her term expires next year. We contacted Representative Mainor and asked her to come on the show to explain in depth why she switched parties, but she did not respond to our request. Joining us now from Sandy Springs, Georgia, is the chair of the North Fulton Democrats, Dante Carter. Dante, glad to have you here. So this is so the district is 90% Democrat. So how is she representing her constituents by becoming a Republican if her constituents are 90% Democrat?
Yeah, and overwhelmingly black. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm wearing this shirt today, Justice for Jimmy. I'm speaking of Jimmy Atchison here. Jimmy's case is one of the many cases of why I even stepped into this role as the North Fulton Dems chair, because it was important to ensure that the concerns of the people in my community were being heard. One of the things that Representative Mainor has done is done a great job of elevating the voices of these families, such as Jimmy Atchison's family. His father's name is Jimmy Hill. She's done a great job of elevating these voices. She'll put the proclamations out saying that she stands for police accountability and elevating them, bringing the cameras around. And of course, what our chair, Nikema Williams, has really hit at is the fact that she's done all these things for personal gain. It hasn't been about the people. And I want to challenge people to look at her record. Look at what she's done for her community. She talks a lot about education, but what have you done for education? What have you done for your community? What have you done for economic development? What have you done to make that impact? What have you done to fight back against gentrification and actually keep your residents in their homes? And there's a lot that's being said. I've spoken to people in her district. Jimmy Hill is one of those people, and that's why I'm wearing this shirt, because at the end of the day, what she did is she laid a whole lot of people out to dry. She didn't hold up the people. We're going over to a party where the governor arrested a Democrat black elected official and dragged her out of the Capitol. You have Representative Park Cannon on the show. You're familiar with that story. We're talking about going over there, fighting a party that's been active in suppressing black votes. How does that benefit your community?
Well, here's what I don't understand. First of all, I support school choice. There's actually a group called Democrats for Ed Reform. There are a number of Democrats who actually support school choice who are still Democrats. So I'm just trying to understand what's her point.
Again, This is about her. This isn't about the people, and that's why it doesn't make sense, because it's not about the people. If there was interest in how the people felt, she would have actually been doing what the people elected her to do. That's an overwhelmingly black voter electorate. That's an overwhelmingly Democratic base, and so this isn't about the people. This isn't about the constituents, and that's why those moves.
Questions from my panel. Robert, you're there in Georgia. Make sense of this?
And Dante, good to see you. So this is my thing. Is she auditioning to be the new Vernon Jones? Because that appears to be the only logic in this, that if you're figuring out what to do with this, you know, that she's not going to progress in the Democratic Party. More than likely, she was going to lose her next election. There wasn't really a political future, but if you hop on the Vernon Jones train, you might be speaking at the next Republican National Convention. You know, there's an opening with Diamond and Silk. Maybe they're hiring. What do you think is the logic behind this?
You know, at the end of the day, we saw what happened to Vernon Jones. He went home. He's on a first-class flight to the same place, period. When you do anything for clout, we're going to sit you out.
Well, simple as that. Rebecca?
So, you know, I think Mainor needs a civic lesson here, because the last time I checked, the Georgia House of Representatives is overwhelmingly Republican. The last time I checked, the Georgia Senate is overwhelmingly Republican, which means that if anything is going to pass in the Georgia House or Senate, it's going to have to be fully supported by Republicans in the Georgia Senate and Georgia House. So my question, or I guess maybe my comment here, is if Mainor is upset that there isn't a greater push for school reform by the use of vouchers, or if she's upset that there isn't an increase in public safety, or if she's upset, what was the other thing she said she was upset about? I think it was about victims' rights. Wouldn't that actually be the party that she just joined fault that those things haven't happened legislatively in Georgia?
You know, I got a shirt on representing one of those victims, right? And so again, this isn't about the people. This is about her agenda, and I think we got to be clear on that. I chair the party up here in North Fulton. Let's be honest. We pulled the attendance sheets. She hasn't been to any meetings in Fulton County, in Atlanta, Georgia. She hasn't paid any membership dues. Where's her organizing? These are volunteer organizations. Where's she doing the work? You're mad about these issues, but where's the organizing? Where's the volunteer work? Where are you putting the time to actually get a base together so that we can not only get you more elected officials to help you to swing some of these votes, but actually have people showing up for you? This isn't about the people, and that's what it's about. It's about her agenda, and my heart hurts the most for the people that relied on her, for the people that trusted her, for the people that voted for her. That's who I'm hurting for right now, because they're the folks looking at her and they're asking the question of, why did you do this? And why are we feeling as though you failed us?
Kelly.
So to that point, I understand that, you know, she's basically betraying her entire constituency. So I guess my question would be, outside of, frankly, just voting her out and just letting the democratic process do its work, is there, you know, because this is state law, is there some form of like recourse in the courts, such as like breach of contract or you know, failure of duty, something to that effect? Because she failed her constituency. If what you're saying is true, which it is, you know, her constituency is predominantly Democrat, predominantly blue, predominantly black, and it appears, based off of what she just said, is anti-black, anti-democratic, anti what her constituency voted her in for. So outside of voting, is there any recourse for her constituent base?
Not to my knowledge, but again, I'm not an attorney. There might be some loopholes in there that I don't know about. I'm not an attorney, but I think the fact of the matter is, and I want this to come along as clear as possible. Black people can't afford to have these missteps. We can't. We're in a fight. We're in a fight here in the state of Georgia. That's why this thing has been busting out the seams as the way it has. That's why we were ranked #2 in early voting nationally, right behind Texas. We are in a fight people here understand they're in a fight. And what we have to do is we got to get the folks that don't represent the people in spirit that are going up under that gold dome calling themselves Democrats out, because this has got to be about the people. It's not about the people. This thing's going to fall apart. And I'm not here for anything to fall apart. I'm here to organize, mobilize. I'm here to make an impact.
All right. Dante Carter, we appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Folks, we come back. Senator Rand Paul shows he's really, really dumb and loves to make racist comments. We'll have it for you next on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol, we've seen shootings.
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us.
We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is roland@rolandsmartin.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Devon Frank.
I'm Dr. Robin B., pharmacist and fitness coach, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Well, Senator Rand Paul's dad, former Congressman Ron Paul, was quite efficient with releasing racist information in his newsletter. Well, just like father, just like the son. During a hearing about antitrust issues with sports, the Kentucky senator made this rather racist comment.
The court ruled unanimously that the NCAA can't invoke their rules. And so they've completely screwed up college athletes. We used to be proud. Many of us loved watching amateur athletes that weren't paid. Now everybody that plays basketball in college is going to be driving a Bentley or a Rolls. I mean, we're going to be seeing rap stars instead of basketball stars. I mean, this is crazy. But you know why it happened? Because Congress sat around and said, oh, well, because of antitrust, we can't let the NCAA do it. It went to the court, and the court made the ruling, unfortunately, a unanimous ruling based on the law. So the law's got to change. Antitrust shouldn't be involved with association.
Come again? Did he really say that? Press play.
The court ruled unanimously that the NCAA can't invoke their rules. And so they've completely screwed up college athletes. We used to be proud. Many of us loved watching amateur athletes that weren't paid. Now everybody that plays basketball in college is going to be driving a Bentley or a Rolls. I mean, we're going to be seeing rap stars instead of basketball stars. I mean, this is crazy. But you know why it happened? Because Congress sat around and said, oh, well, because of antitrust, we can't let the NCAA do it. It went to the court, and the court made the ruling, unfortunately, a unanimous ruling based on the law. So the law's got to change. Antitrust shouldn't be involved with association.
Okay, so if I was... You know, I got to stand up for this one. I can't do it. So if I was sitting here deciding who, first of all, buys more Rolls Royces and Bentleys, it's rich white people, not rap stars. And then he makes this comment about, oh, I remember the day when things were so great. Things were so great, and then this day when, you know, we had amateur athletics. So let me be clear here. I just want to be clear, y'all. So we don't mind coaches. We don't mind coaches making $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million, driving Mercedes, driving Bentleys, driving Rolls Royces. Oh, but now it's a problem because the players are getting paid. See, we don't mind that form of slavery of getting free labor, but no, Senator Rand Paul now is upset because it's now somehow upended the whole process because now the very people who are doing the labor, largely black people, they are now benefiting from the same system. So he then says, oh my goodness, we're now going to be getting rap stars instead of sports stars. Robert, when we talked about Tommy Tuberville, you said, hey, I appreciate Tuberville saying this because he told us exactly who he is. That's exactly what Senator Rand Paul did. See, Robert, now I understand why his neighbor kicked his ass.
Well, look, Roland, I think a big part of this has to be if
yes,
Rand Paul...
I said that. You okay, Rebecca? Kelly, y'all okay? Y'all okay?
I'm never okay. I am never okay on this show.
I'm just saying, man. I just saying it. I understand why his neighbor beat that ass.
Look, is there a video? We need video.
Right?
There has to be a Ring camera somewhere in that neighborhood. I mean, there has to be a video of that. And
you ain't lying. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Robert, go ahead.
What I don't quite understand is if Rand Paul is such a big fan of people working for free, why does he take a salary as a senator? Shouldn't he say, well, for the good of the country and as a patriot and in the name of, amateurism and politics not being bought out, I'm not going to take a salary. And it's interesting to me, he has a bigger issue with college athletes being paid for the services they render than he is with Supreme Court justices being paid by their sugar daddies in order to make decisions. It just came out today that Clarence Thomas was getting Venmos from lawyers who have business before the Supreme Court.
No. Factually, that wasn't Clarence Thomas. It was reported that one of his staffers was getting. One of his staffers. Go ahead.
Yes, the person who worked for Clarence Thomas was getting money via Venmo from lawyers who have business in front of the court. Justice Alito was getting flued out all over the place on vacation. That Clarence Thomas was literally being paid off by Harlan Crow, paying his children's tuition, paying for his mom's house. But yet and still, you have a problem with an 18-year-old who's in college, who has nothing but maybe a scholarship, getting NIL money, not getting money from the institution, but money that they earn from their social media platforms. That's what NIL money is. Not every athlete gets it. Very few actually get it because very few have the type of social media following that Arch Manning or that Bronny James has to bring in these millions of dollars. So this idea that now all these athletes will become rappers, guess what? Athletes will become becoming rappers in the first place because that's the only way you can actually make some damn money while you're doing two-a-days with Nick Saban down in Alabama running your head against a wall for Tommy Tuberville. These people are absolutely ridiculous. Then this idea that they have of second-class citizenship for black people. It is shown in every statement that they make, every law that they pass, every ruling from the Supreme Court. Their sole instinct, their sole interest is to create black folks as a second-class citizenship in this country. And as long as we electorally allow them to continue to do so, as long as we're not supporting people like Charles Booker, who had a great chance of winning in Kentucky, as long as we're not supporting people like Doug Jones in Alabama, who could have stopped someone like Tommy Tuberville, we're going to continue to have these folks in office, because for every single one that will make a statement like this publicly, you got another 48 Republican senators who think it privately. So it's not simply enough to chastise them and call them stupid or anything else because they say it publicly. Instead, we need to encourage them to say it publicly and then get behind candidates that can put them out of office next election cycle.
But see, the thing that I'm sitting here laughing the most about here is that he wants to invoke rap stars. Go to my iPad. Watch this here, y'all. Here's a story right here. Olivia Dunn. Olivia Dunn is a white gymnast at LSU. Olivia Dunn was on a podcast and revealed that she had gotten $500,000 for a single post on social media, Kelly. And last year, her NIL valuation was estimated at $2.6 million, which ranked as the sixth highest figure among college athletes. Dunn's current estimated NIL valuation sits at $3.3 million, putting her second only behind Bronny James. So it sounds to me, Kelly, is Olivia Dunn going to be a rap star?
Sure, why not? You know, we got Iggy Azalea out there and the white chick off of Wild 'N Out. Why not? But no, I sincerely doubt she's going to be a rap star. I sincerely doubt any of these athletes want to be rap stars at the outset. Like Robert said, they want to be athletes, but once upon a time, even still today, they don't get paid like the athletes that they are. And that is the issue here. I feel like, you know, I initially wanted to say that Rand Paul lost his damn mind, but he really revealed it. And I think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing a revealing of damned minds in that these thoughts never went away. This rhetoric never really went away. It's no longer a dog whistle. It's on a bullhorn. It's being streamed. It's being interviewed. It's being broadcast. And people are agreeing with it. We have congressmen who agree with it. And they are setting policies out there that are in agreement with this racism. And for people to think that these are outliers, that these thoughts are on the fringe, you are mistaken, because newsflash, we are entering a Jim Crow 2.0 by way of these rulings from the Supreme Court, by way of these Tubervilles, by way of these Rands. And unless, like Robert said, we actually utilize this democratic process that we still have a little bit of and vote these people out and rewrite some of these things that they are bringing passed down, we are going to be even more inundated in the shit show that they are establishing, because we think that it's not going to happen again, but it is already happening again.
Well, the thing here, Rebecca, it's real simple. They love sharecroppers. This is nothing more than 21st century sharecropping. They want to say, oh no, but you're getting a free education. Yeah, but y'all raking in millions and billions. Do you know why we expanding the college football playoff? Money. Power 5 conferences. Comes out of money. None of these people say a word about the coaches with endorsement deals, commercials. I mean, maybe control room can find it, but have you seen Rand Paul complain about Nick Saban being in Aflac commercials? Oh, I get it. So we're fine when a coach can make $10, $15, $20 million. But it's a problem when it's the players. Rebecca?
I'm mad that Rand Paul thinks that the only Black people who get money are rap stars. Like, come on. Like, he could have been literal and said, these college athletes are being paid like they are already the future doctors, lawyers, and teachers that they're in school to become, right? He could have said that, but we all know what this is. It's a dog whistle. When I was in law school, I actually clerked one summer with the NCAA. And my sports law professor was the NCAA Division I fractions chair. It was literally her responsibility to go from conference to conference to do some of the investigations. And one thing that I would tell you from all the stories she shared about those investigations is that college athletes have been paid since the beginning of athletics in college. And, I could think of especially the SEC, since we mentioned the SEC earlier, I could think about all those student athletes who will park, especially the football athletes, who will park in the student parking lot on game days, and they will leave their cars, if they had a car, cracked open. And a lot of the white boosters will go through those parking lots and put envelopes that were, the size of dollar bills and $100 bills into some of their cars while they were at the athletic facilities preparing for the games. So we know there has always been money in college athletics. We also know it's not fair to say, well, student athletes are getting paid through education, because if they're getting paid through education and then they are actually employees, then they should have got workman's compensation, especially for those athletes who spent, years playing in college and they got turf toe or blew out their knee or tore their ACL and their career was over before they could actually get paid for their labor. So, it's Rand Paul being Rand Paul. And I don't even know why he's talking about this. Like you said, there's been so many coaches who have endorsed Blue Chew and other enhancement type things over the years, or Icy Hot, and they've gotten millions of dollars behind it. And he has never said anything publicly about them receiving that money.
And that's not a shock. All right, hold tight 1 second. We're going to keep it going with talking about college football. Yesterday, I called for Black athletes to boycott Texas A&M because of how they treated Black journalist Kathleen McElroy. A lot of folks have been commenting on social media. A lot of Aggies, folks who are in media as well, condemning the actions. Then you also got the stupid fools who want to agree with them, trying to take shots at me. And y'all know how I roll. What my man Chris Paul called me a Twitter sniper. I was taking some bitches out like we was the movie American Sniper. That's how I roll. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
For decades, the tobacco industry has deliberately targeted Black communities and kids with marketing for menthol cigarettes. It's had a devastating impact on Black health. Tobacco use claims 45,000 Black lives every year. It's the #1 cause of preventable death. In the 1950s, less than 10% of Black smokers used menthol cigarettes. Today, it's 85%. Ban menthol cigarettes. Save lives.
On the next Get Wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, the wealth gap has literally not changed in over 50 years, according to the Federal Reserve. On the next Get Wealthy, I'm excited to chat with Jim Castleberry, CEO of Known Holdings. They have created a platform, an ecosystem to bring resources to Blacks and people of color so they can scale their business.
Even though we've had several examples of African Americans and other people of color being able to be successful, we still aren't seeing the mass level of us being lifted up.
That's right here on Get Wealthy, only on Black Star Network.
On a next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, we're going to be talking about common sense. We think that people have it. know how to use it, but it is something that people often have to learn. The truth is, most of us are not born with it, and we need to teach common sense, embrace it, and give it to those who need it most, our kids.
So I always tell teachers to listen out to what conversations the students are having about what they're getting from social media, and then let's get ahead of it and have the appropriate conversations with them.
On a next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, here at Black Star Network.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Succession. We're hearing that word pop up a lot these days as our country continues to fracture and divide. But did you know that that idea, essentially a breaking up of the USA, has been part of the public debate since long before and long after the Civil War, right up to today? On our next show, you'll meet Richard Crichton, the author of this book, who says breaking up this great experiment called America might not be such a bad thing. That's on the next Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
Hello, we're the Critter Fixers. I'm Dr. Bernard Hodges.
And I'm Dr. Terrence Ferguson.
And you're tuned in to
Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, welcome back. So you see right there the copy of my book, White Fear. What was sitting there for the last, almost 2 years was the plaque that I got from Texas A&M University when I was inducted into their Journalism Ring of Honor. I chose to remove that from the set yesterday after what they did to Kathleen McElroy, professor at the University of Texas, who they agreed to hire to lead the journalism department trying to rebuild it. Then they rescinded the offer. In fact, they changed the offer on 3 separate occasions because some folks inside began to complain about, how she focused on race and diversity in her work and then her reporting for the New York Times. Again, it's kind of stupid that when somebody who's working for the #1 J school in the state decides to leave that to come back to their alma mater to work at a university that doesn't even have one, that's called a significant step down. That's just being factual. But they chose to do that. And so she said, to hell with this, I'm going back to the job that I had, which is exactly what she should have done. Well, a lot of folks have been commenting, some commenting about my remarks, even the story. So on social media, folks were posting a variety of comments. Go ahead and let's show some of these comments. A lot of people, other journalists, former students were saying that. Jennifer Harris said, I'm glad Kathleen is staying at UT. A&M botched this terribly. It should make clear that our Texas-led leaders have created a hostile environment in Texas ed and higher education. The consequences of their right-wing culture war will be felt for years. As an alum of UT, I am concerned. You see, she was responding to James Berrigan, who wrote Texas A&M watered down an offer it had made to a UT professor it had recruited to revive his journalism program after conservative backlash. Not even being an alumni could save the recruited professor. Go to the next tweet, please. Also, this was posted. First of all, this is what I posted this morning. This is what I posted. Good morning, everyone, except the Texas A&M University Board of Regents leadership. They made it clear with their mistreatment of former student Kathleen McElroy that they do not respect black graduates, and shame on board chair Bill Mahon's a black man who allowed this. Next tweet, please. Come on, let's go. Okay, where are the other tweets of other folk? I mean, I don't need my tweets, y'all. Okay, I don't need mine. So go ahead to the next one. I don't need mine. That was somebody who was sitting here asking me, come on, let's go to the next one. Okay, all right. So anyway, there were a number of people who were tweeting a variety of tweets and posting comments. And see, the thing that was just crazy to me, when you look at what is going on here, when you look at what the reaction, people have been blasting them because they say it literally makes no sense. It makes no sense that you recruit somebody and then you would essentially come up with some BS that has nothing to do with the job to then say, well, why we're not going to offer this person the contract. It just makes no sense whatsoever. But what it goes to show you also is what is happening in these red states. In these red states, where these Republicans and largely white conservatives are doing what they are doing, what they're upset with and they're angry with. They're angry with anybody who, frankly, is black. I told y'all, the University of Florida, they had 3 positions open in their Department of African American Studies. They could not get folks to apply for the jobs. So what you're about to see, first of all, you're going to see more of this. That's first of all, you're going to see more of this. You're going to see more of these individuals who are going to be doing this, who are going to be stopping, if you will, folks from getting jobs because of this DEI hysteria. But you're also are going to see black folks say, y'all can kiss my ass in these jobs. And see, I warn everybody this in white fear. I say there's a reason it's called white fear, how the browning of America is making white folks lose their minds. You see, they decided to say, oh, we don't want this woman. Now, damn the fact that she's frankly overqualified. Let me be perfectly clear, okay? Texas A&M Journalism Department sucked when I was there, okay? You don't even have one. So you got somebody of high quality to come back to build something, and you fools screwed that up, and you didn't even know how to do it right. So now you want to sit here and essentially make up some stuff. Now, university hasn't responded. I've reached out to the president, to the chancellor, John Sharp, the president, Kathleen Banks, Bill Mayholmes, the board chair. None of them have responded. This is what Sherilyn Eiffel tweeted: the outrageous treatment of a distinguished journalist, Kathleen McElroy, by Texas A&M is beyond the pale. They will pay dearly for this disgrace. The choreography mirrors the treatment of Nicole Hannah-Jones by UNC. Unions are bowing to white supremacy. And don't be surprised if they get slapped with a massive lawsuit, and they should also absolutely lose. But you know, and so you know, again, this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the gross mistreatment, and the thing is, why would you sit here? Why would you sit here and literally say we're going to pull an offer and change the terms for no reason whatsoever? Teresa Woodard tweeted, I stood over this all day long and my feelings of disgust only deepened the more I thought about it. I'm so embarrassed by what my alma mater did to Kathleen McElroy. That's what she tweeted. She's a journalist there as well. Mark Lukowicz, shameful episode at TAMU, Texas A&M recruiting, then bowing to outside pressure to effectively unhire Kathleen McElroy to provide his journalism program, a disturbing pattern vis-a-vis Nicole Hannah-Jones and UNC. Remember, of course, UNC was going to hire her for a tenure position. They had one of their donors out of Arkansas object to that. And so what they then did was they pulled the offer. Then after they got embarrassed, they reinstated the offer. Then she was like, "Yeah, I'm good," and took her towels to Howard University. This right here, Texas Scorecard. This is a right-wing site. Texas Scorecard, headed up by Texas Aggie Michael Quinn Sullivan, did a smear job on Kathleen McElroy after she was offered a tenured job to bring back the journalism department at A&M. The offer was withdrawn after the Scorecard story. And so what you have to understand, folks, is how these hardcore right-wing conservatives, what they are doing, how they are using their power to lie, to make stuff up, and to intimidate others. My man Clarence Hill, who's a UT graduate, he says the university celebrated its decision to hire Kathleen McElroy to revive his journalism program. She says she's staying at UT after she felt judged because of her race and gender. Now, what was so stupid is, why would you actually have a big ceremony celebrating somebody, but then you get rid of them? And see, this is the thing right here, and I think, and this is sort of twofold. So President Kathleen Banks and Chancellor John Sharp, clearly they were on the same page to hire Kathleen McElroy. But it wasn't until they go to the Board of Regents where all of a sudden they begin to interject. So here's the first thing. Why in the hell is the Board of Regents getting involved in personnel matters like this? And Kathleen Banks, why didn't you fight harder? In fact, if I'm Banks, why I don't want to even be president if you fools going to be sitting here controlling all of this. This was not a high-level position, y'all. This wasn't an executive position. It wasn't even the dean of a college. It was director of a department. And so you're going to sit here and tolerate this? You're going to sit here and allow them to do this here? Yeah. This is the photo. This is the Board of Regents right here. That's them. That's them. The black guy right there, Bill Mahomes, only African-American on the board, A&M graduate. Bill, my question for you, how did you allow this to happen? You are the chairman of the Board of Regents, the first African-American to ever hold that position. And this is your legacy, denying a graduate of Texas A&M the opportunity because these white folks don't like the fact that she has advocated for diversity in media. So that's what we're doing, huh? That's what we're doing. Suzanne Halliburton tweeted, A&M, you made the absolutely perfect hire to revive your journalism school when you landed my friend Kathleen McElroy. Emphasized perfect, read her resume, and now you're letting stupid politics over DEI mess it up. Alums shouldn't let this happen. Kathleen is one of you. This guy here, Drew, I was surprised when A&M hired McElroy and thought they were moving in a positive direction, considering their past. But then they went out of their way to mess it up. Glad UT is getting her back. See, the thing here, Rebecca, that we need to understand is that when we're talking about jobs at Texas A&M, it's in Texas. So now imagine this happening in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, we're seeing in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Arkansas, Virginia, all across the South. These are white conservatives. Even though Bill, he black, he the chairman of the board, but clearly these white conservatives at A&M, they run the school. I graduated from there. My brother's a graduate. My sister's a graduate. My wife's sister's a graduate. My sister's husband is a graduate. I've got multiple cousins who are graduates of Texas A&M. Trust me, I know these white Aggies very well. And they are hardcore Republicans, they are hardcore MAGA folks, and they support Texas Governor Greg Abbott. And the thing here that you're going to see, and let me tell y'all right now, this is not gonna be the last time, you're gonna see this thing happen in other states. And this, Rebecca, is where black athletes must be use their power. Why is the Confederate flag no longer a part of the Mississippi State flag? Because it was black players who said, we ain't gonna play ball if that's still on that flag. They took that damn thing down with the quickness. Now see, Texas A&M, oh, they don't mind DEI. In fact, they love DEI on Saturday afternoon. They love when the black sharecroppers are on the field performing for them in SEC games, running up and down the field playing football. They love when those sharecroppers are playing basketball, when they're running track, when they are on all of the sports. See, they don't mind, they don't mind black athletes. They love them some five-star recruits. But they don't like if you're a five-star recruit who's a graduate who emphasizes race and diversity in your whole career.
It's my understanding that the A&M system is enshrined in the Texas Constitution. And the A&M system includes Texas A&M and also includes Prairie View A&M, which is a HBCU in Texas. And it's also my understanding that with the A&M system, with the Board of Regents, it's a 9-member board that's appointed by the governor. This is why elections matter, because whoever the governor is who gets to appoint and make these types of decisions, or in this instance, interference with what higher education looks like in the state of Texas. There were also issues with the Board of Regents when it came to the previous provost and president at Prairie View A&M. And just like you're pointing out with what's happening across states in the South, when you look at Louisiana, when you look at some of our HBCUs, which are the HBCUs that are also public institutions, these things will happen at predominantly white institutions, and these things could also happen to some of our public HBCUs. When we look at what Florida A&M is going through, as there's 4 HBCUs in Florida, 1 is public, and that's Florida A&M. Florida A&M students currently are suing the state of Florida because within that system, if A&M is supposed to receive a certain portion of funding that they're not getting. Why? Because it's a HBCU, and that particular state doesn't value Black students, Black education, and educating Black minds in Florida. So now they're having to sue. When we look at what's happening in North Carolina or even in South Carolina, we're seeing defunding of certain institutions. We're also seeing administrators and faculty who are leaving academia because of these crazy laws that have passed where you can't say certain things or teach certain things on these campuses. We're going to continue to see a degradation of higher ed in this country if this continues.
The former Journalism Students Association at Texas A&M released this statement. I just lost my iPad, so I'm going to try to pull it up here. So, Robert, I'm sounding this alarm, and the reason it angers me, and this is what angers me. This ain't a discussion about somebody who's not qualified. This is not a conversation about, well, did we hire the right person? This is a person who literally used to lead the journalism department at the University of Texas. Now, that's our biggest rivalry. We hate them, they hate us. We don't want to give them credit for anything. But you had an opportunity, and again, I'm using a 5-star recruit for a reason. You had an opportunity to hire the #1 recruit in the state to lead your defunct journalism program. You came to an agreement. The initial agreement, Robert, was a job that had tenure. Then they rescinded that offer, changed it, and came back to a 5-year contract. Then they came back and rescinded that one to a 1-year contract. Why the hell would somebody, because see, and they did it knowing full well she would reject it. Nobody's gonna leave a tenured job at one school that's the top program in the state, one of the tops in the country, to go to a defunct program on a 1-year deal and they can fire you at will at any time. Hell no, that's stupid as hell. And so they knew exactly what they were doing. And they're so weak and impotent and pathetic that they don't even have the guts, Bill Mayholmes, or the Board of Regents, or John Sharp, the Chancellor, or President Kathleen Banks. You don't even have the guts to come out and actually tell people what you did. How about that? And so Texas A&M folk love talking about the Aggie Code, the Aggie Code. Well, you obviously don't believe in it because you ain't practicing. You're not practicing it when it comes to one of your own.
Well, look, Roland, I hate to be the person to break it to you, but them white folks don't give a damn about you. They like the alumni checks that you send in.
No, hold up.
They like the pictures.
No, hold up.
They don't care
hold
about
up, Robert. No. They give a damn when the football coach and the basketball coach for men and women asked me to help recruit. They gave a damn when the previous 4 presidents asked me to help recruit. See, again, they give a damn when they want you to do some work. But here you have a case where you're a former student, and now when it comes to taking your expertise and now bringing it there, teaching the next generation of students, then it's kind of like, oh, hell no. Oh, see, they give a damn if you're a black coach or you're a black player because, again, they want those black sharecroppers. That's what they give a damn about. And so I get the whole deal about in terms of who's giving and whatever. Oh, so yeah, they didn't see when Mark Turgeon was the head coach and Kyrie Irving, it came down to Duke and Texas A&M, guess whose phone rang? Mine. See, when it came down to them on the academic side, recruiting some top black students, guess whose phone rang? Mine. They gave a damn then. And I'm talking about the last 4 or 5 presidents. So they give a damn when they want you to speak at an event and say, oh, they gave a damn when, oh, it was great seeing you wearing your Aggie ring on ABC this week, or when the Texas in a lapel pin. But well, then they get pissed off is when you use the same mouth to fire back at them. And see, the whole deal is, I made it clear to them, I don't want a job from y'all. I ain't here to kiss your ass, but I'm gonna bring this heat. Go ahead.
Well, Roland, like I said, at the end of the day, they could care less. They liked everything that you did, but they don't care. They don't like you. They left the money on the dresser and they out the door. They in the Uber on the way home already. Look, we're resegregating society right now. That is what we're doing. The Supreme Court has ruled that in that North Carolina and that Harvard decision, that you can no longer have programs that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. We saw on the Colorado case, they've now made it clear that if you have any religious objection to anybody's sexuality, their race, their gender, anything in those lines, you don't have to support them. We're going back to a segregated society. That's what has already happened, not what we hope will happen, not what we think will happen, is already here. The only question is, this time around, will we have segregation on our own terms? Will we set the rules around it? Will we be sitting outside of somebody else's lunch counter begging for the opportunity to sit down there? Or will we be building our own lunch counter on the other side of town where we will actually be in control of those things? We've gotten past the point of having seats at someone else's table. We need carpenters now, not diners. We need people who can build those tables for ourselves. And when you talk about these institutions, when you talk about these groups, you have to make it clear there's not enough just for the athletes to boycott these universities. We need to have all of those journalism students in the transfer portal right now, transferring to other HBCUs that can take them in. We need to make sure that those top achieving students, those deanless students, those 4.0 students, they need to be transferring also. We have to understand that if these folks are about to put us out of this society, as they are gearing up to do, as they are making very clear, as Senator Tuberville, as Senator Rand Paul, as Ron DeSantis, or as Clarence Thomas, they're getting ready to resegregate this society. And we need to make this determination right now on whose terms will we be segregated. Are we going to build for ourselves and be ready? Or are we going to be locked out and be outside again, hosed down again, because we wait for them to put us out? I think we have to start preparing for it. And you're right on that point, that it has to not just be the student athletes. It got to be the whole faculty, the whole staff, the whole student body. If y'all don't want black folks in this institution, y'all figure out how to run it without us.
Well, but here's the whole deal, though. Here's the reason I specifically mentioned the athletes, Kelly, is because, they want that money. They want that sports money. They want all of that. And we saw what happened at Missouri when those players said, we're going to boycott. It actually cost a former A&M president, Dr. Lofton, his job at Missouri. Donations went down, enrollment went down. And so we understand the impact when players say, yeah, no, we're not gonna be playing for y'all. And so that's why I specifically said that if you are a black athlete and you're considering Texas A&M, remove them from consideration. If you don't make your visits, if you're considering A&M, you're considering other top institutions. Do not come, because then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, and here's the thing, Kelly, all this takes is for 2 or 3 top black athletes to publicly say, because of how they treated this sister, I will not consider Texas A&M. See, it doesn't, you don't need the whole 15, 20, 25 scholarship class to bounce. All you need are 2 or 3 to get their attention. And before I go to you, the reason I believe in fighting them on this, and I totally understand Robert's point, and I get it 100%. But Rebecca made the point earlier. This is a state institution. Texas is a state that's majority minority. That means that taxpayer dollars goes to fund that. There's something in Texas called the Permanent University Fund. That's the money that we get from them oil leases and those oil fields. 2/3 of the PUF fund goes to the University of Texas system. 1/3 goes to the Texas A&M system. We're talking about billions of dollars. And we're talking taxpayer dollars. And so I totally get your point, Robert, but here's the whole deal. My grandparents paid taxes, and they couldn't go to that damn school. My parents paid taxes, and they couldn't go to that damn school. I still own my home there in Texas. My brother owns his home. My sister owns her home. My other sister owns her home. And so that's our goddamn money that's funding that damn school. And so what I am not going to do is allow these white racists to play this game and somehow tell black folks we must somehow go somewhere else. Hell no. Our money built that shit, and we're going to be damn well taking advantage of the resources of that institution, Kelly.
And I completely understand that point. I absolutely agree that you should advocate on behalf of yourself, given the structure of the university system that down there, given the fact that your taxpayer dollars are paying for this institution. I completely understand that. But even still, we are still seeing a situation in which they would rather, and by they, I mean this racist minority, but even still in a very powerful seat of power, they would rather see themselves fail and tout that failure as a success than to actually be successful. And that is what we're seeing with this professor who, like you said, is at the very top of her game within the state and arguably in the country. And the fact that they kept reneging on an offer, 2, 3, almost 4 times, just because they were afraid of what their students, prospective students, would be learning from this woman, which would actually be to open up your mind and to investigate and to question and to report and to be truthful in journalism and not tout nonsense and not tout misinformation and disinformation and fall victim to this era of alternative facts. They are so afraid of actual journalism that they would rather see their defunct program of journalism keep failing than to bring somebody in who can actually restore true journalism. And if that is the case, if you would rather tout failure as success, even though the short-term solution that you're talking about being these athletes outright saying, I'm not coming because of how they treated her. I'm not coming because of how they could possibly treat me if I go. That's a short-term fix. That's a Band-Aid on a very, very deep wound. So the real question is, what are we going to do about that deep wound? Are we going to throw salt on it and make sure that it festers, or are we actually going to try and heal it? And I don't even know at this point, given the policies coming down, the way that SCOTUS is coming down on hearings, how exactly we can fix this short of a complete overhaul of the system itself.
Again, how do you impact the change? You do what Dr. King said on April 3rd, 1968, you redistribute the pain. Dr. King said you withdraw our economic resources. The greatest resource, the way to hit Texas A&M where it hurts, is if you withdraw black athletic talent. If the black athlete says, adios, I'm not considering you. And again, you don't need 10 or 20. 2 or 3 say we're not coming, that is going to scare the hell out of them. What black people must begin to understand is, how do we leverage our power? This is the statement from the former Journalism Student Association in support of Kathleen McElroy, class of 1981. Kathleen McElroy, 81, is an immensely respected journalist and admired educator and one of the university's most accomplished journalism graduates. Her professional and academic experience made her an exceedingly qualified leader to revitalize journalism education at Texas A&M. The news that she is no longer coming after the terms of her contract were repeatedly changed is a major loss to Texas A&M. Media reports about the reasons for her departure are concerning. We asked the university to be transparent in what transpired with McElroy's contract and address its plans for the future of the program. As advocates for journalism education at Texas A&M, we asked what will be done to ensure that the program is led by someone who understands the media business and how to train the next generation of journalists. And it says the FJSA board members who are affiliated with or employees of the university recused themselves from the drafting of this statement. Folks, you get their attention by withdrawing black athletic talent. That's number one. You get their attention by demanding an Office of Civil Rights investigation from the Biden Department of Education because Texas A&M receives federal funding. And number three, you mobilize and organize and you vote the asshole Republicans out of the Texas legislature, and you target young voters who in 2022, 75% of all voters in Texas, 30 and under, did not vote. That's how you get it done, but it's step by step. We're going to continue to monitor this story and continue to call for that action. Got to go to a break. We come back, our Tech Talk segment. Plus, I got a little something special. Smokey Robinson, Jeffrey Osborne, and Johnny Gill at the Jeffrey Osborne Classic that closed last night. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Back in a moment.
I'm Faraji Muhammad, live from LA. And this is The Culture. The Culture is a two-way conversation. You and me, we talk about the stories, politics, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So join our community every day at 3 p.m. Eastern and let your voice be heard. Hey, we're all in this together. So let's talk about it and see what kind of trouble we can get into. It's The Culture, weekdays at 3, only on the Black Star Network.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Hello, I'm Paula J. Parker. Truly proud on the Proud Family.
I am Tommy Davidson. I play Oscar on Proud Family, Louder and Proud.
Hi, I'm Jo Marie Payton, voice of Sugar Mama on Disney's Louder and Prouder, Disney Plus. And I'm with Roland Martin on Unfiltered.
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered here on the Black Star Network. Party planning. Look, we spend a lot of money on events all the time, and it's not always as easy. The other day I went to my man Turk. Steven celebrated his birthday party. Him and his wife put that thing together in 3 days, his dinner party. There was a black caterer who they utilized. You go to my Instagram page, you can check it out. And so these things happen. And you know what? You kind of want some help when it comes to putting on a party or an event. Well, my next guest, that's actually what she does, offering the folks support for a variety of events. Whether we're talking about baby showers, whether we're talking about birthday parties, weddings, all that good stuff. I'm quite familiar, of course, with that. My grandmother had a catering business, and I started when I was 7 years old, stopped when I was 30. My brother now owns the catering business in Houston. And so it's great to be able to have something that makes it easier for you, especially in these days where we are so doggone busy with our lives, folks. Joining us right now, glad to have her, is Crystal Foote. She's the CEO and founder of The Party Starter. She joins us out of Atlanta. So, Crystal, how did you get started with The Party Starter?
Hi, Roland. Thank you for having me. Well, I got started because one day I was planning a party for my daughter's 5th birthday, and I had pregnancy brain. I was pregnant with my second child, and I totally forgot all of the vendors I needed to have a successful party. And I figured, you know what? I think other people might be struggling as well, even if they don't have, pregnancy brain. So I decided to create the Party Starter to really be consultative and help people during the planning party process.
And so, what do you offer? Is it again just a one-stop shop of various vendors, or do you actually help folks with the planning of their events?
It's a one-stop shop platform. So you go on there and there is a checklist that you complete. And based on what type of event you have, we want to make sure that we have all subcategories for that person that's using the platform. So there's everything from entertainment to floral arrangements to even transportation. And then from there, that user can also request quotes from vendors in their local area or virtually. And then after they receive the quotes from those vendors, then they can book them right on the platform. And that way they don't have to worry about any type of money transacted during their event. They can relax and have a great time.
That's all good. Questions from the panel? Let's see here. Well, we know Robert, if it's a gun party, he'll be happy to call somebody. Rebecca, I'll start with you.
Thanks so much for coming on the show tonight. So you said that this is virtual, but it's also all across the country as well. So for example, my daddy still lives in Omaha, Nebraska. So if I wanted to plan his 75th birthday party, could I use this platform to do so? And then also as a follow-up, how do you source which vendors that you invite to submit proposals?
That's a great question. So I'll answer your first question. Yes. Please use the Party Starter for your dad's 75th birthday party. You go on there, you complete it, and then the local vendors in that area will submit their quotes to, have any type of whatever you need for your party. So that's food, catering, entertainment, and so forth. And then we actually go through a vetting process. So the vendors can sign up on the platform, and each vendor has to be thoroughly vetted by myself and the chief operational officer before we put them on the platform, because we want to make sure that they're legit, that you're not going to be catfished, and that they are someone that would represent the brand.
Kelly.
Sure. So tying into the previous question as far as vetting, given the most current Supreme Court case regarding, vendors not wanting to give wedding cakes to gay people, even though gay people have never asked this person for a wedding cake. Can you go into a little bit about what exactly I'm shaking my head too, sis. Like it's a mess. But can you go a little bit into, I understand you want to be on par with your brand when vetting, but can you go into a little bit of detail as to what that vetting process looks like, as well as if there is a, I don't want to say predominantly Black section as far as vendor choice is, but is there incentive for Black vendors to get onto your platform? How do you go about bringing in BIPOC into your platform?
Yeah, so we love inclusivity, diversity. That's what our country is. Regardless of what's happening right now, unfortunately, with SCOTUS and so forth. So we want to make sure that we have vendors of all backgrounds, LGBTQ+, African-American minority-owned businesses, Hispanic-owned businesses, veterans as well. And so we reach out to these vendors. We also attend different types of events to make sure that they are aware of the Party Starter and that we embrace them and their services, their solutions for having an amazing event. And that is how we vet, as well as also promote on the website. We highlight minority-owned businesses. So as a person is going through their selection process, they can can see that that company that they want to have is Black owned. They can see that that company is also LGBTQ plus owned as well. And we want to make sure that our users understand that it's beautiful to have a diverse set of vendors for their party, because honestly, having those fresh perspectives, having, amazing food and just different backgrounds help you create an amazing experience for your friends and family is incredible. I don't want to have a party where people sound like me, look like me, do exactly what I do. That's boring. I want to have something fresh and new. People from all backgrounds help me out for my party. And then also catering, that's really important. That's a cultural thing. I need to make sure that I have amazing caterers for my party that are going to please my guests. And for my parties in particular, I make sure that I have Black caterers. And so that's really important to highlight that. For my friends who are Hispanic, they want to have Hispanic caterers to make sure they make those dishes that their abuela makes for them, something really sentimental. And so it's just really a huge focus of our platform.
Robert.
All right, now, just I'm going to give you a hypothetical because I want to understand how granular you guys get when it comes to helping people plan for parties. As husbands, often we have difficulty planning out, let's say, a birthday party for your wife. So let's just say, theoretically, your wife was turning 50 and she's from New York, and hip hop is also turning 50, and that was an integral part of her upbringing. So she wants to have a birthday party somewhere in New York celebrating hip hop. Also, she's Jamaican. So she wants to have Jamaican food catered there. And theoretically, if there's any hip hop legends that she could get to attend, that would probably be good. And there may need to be an airplane flyover with a little tassel that has her name on it. Do you help organize things like that?
Hell no!
And how exactly people go about those things?
You know what?
She deserves it, though.
On the platform, you can put in whatever you want. And if we have a vendor for that, then you will get that for your wife's 50th birthday party.
The airplane, too, because the plane is very important. It needs to fly from White Plains Airport across Westchester, and it needs to go right past her high school and also past that broad from high school's house. So I need to have a very specific flight plan for it.
100%. Provide all those details. We have a description box for every subcategory for those vendors. So you put in all those amazing, unique details you just told me, and then we can definitely find vendors for you if they're not already on that platform.
Okay, and then also, so can all the party favors be robin's egg blue? Apparently that's the thing. Robin's egg blue and silver. Is that a thing you can put in?
It is. The only thing with the platform, though, we can't tell our clients, our customers, when we think that the things they have going on for the party might not really look well. So if you want to have a robin blue egg, don't blame it on us if it turns out not really, aligning with your hip hop theme. I'm just saying.
Men don't know what the hell robin's egg blue is. We only know these because women tell us. I don't know. It's blue or green or something. If you follow directions, the key to a happy marriage, think very little, follow directions, listen, and execute.
Yes, you're a very smart man. You're going to be married for a very long time. So if you want all those, you should also get a party planner on the Party Starter to help you execute all those and make sure that they look right. So with the egg, with hip hop, with the plane, it's a lot going on there. But if that's what your wife wants, then give that to her. She deserves it.
I mentioned this is the second of the birthday parties. The first one is a cruise from Spain to France to Italy.
Hell no, Robert, we done. Take your ass to the app. Take your ass to the app and type all them damn questions in. We ain't doing all that. Take your ass to the app. Go do some work. Go do some work. I don't want to hear all that. You throwing all these crazy ass things out. You just lazy. No. But if it was a gun party, your ass be planning the hell out of it. All right, Crystal, tell us where we can get more information.
So you can go on thepartystarter.com. You can also find us on Instagram at thepartystarter.official, where we put inspirational photos up there, tips and tricks as well to plan a perfect party.
All right. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
All right, folks. Thank you so very much. Robert, Rebecca, Kelly, thank you so very much as well for being on the panel. When we come back, folks, Smokey Robinson, Jeffrey Osborne, Johnny Gill. Got a little treat for y'all. Back in a moment on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
My early days on the road, I've learned, well, first of all, as a musician, I studied not only piano, but I was also drummer and percussion. I was all city percussion as well. So I was one of the best in the city on percussion.
There you go.
Also studied trumpet, cello, violin, and bass, and any other instrument I could get my hand on. And with that study, I learned again what was for me. I learned what it meant to do what the instruments in the orchestra meant to each other in the relationships.
Right.
So that prepared me to be a leader. That prepared me to lead orchestras and to conduct orchestras. That prepared me to know, to be a leader of men, they have to respect you and know that you know the music. You have to be the teacher of the music. You have to know the music better than anybody.
There you go.
Right, so you can't walk in unprepared.
Up next on The Frequency with me, Dee Barnes. She's known as the Angela Davis of hip-hop. Monet Smith, better known as Medusa, the gangsta goddess, the undisputed queen of West Coast underground hip-hop.
Pop locking is really what indoctrinated me in hip-hop. I don't even think I realized it was hip-hop at that time.
Right.
You know, it was a happening. It was a moment of release.
We're going to be getting into her career, knowing her whole story, and breaking down all the elements of hip-hop. This week on The Frequency, only on the Black Star Network.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Devon Franklin. It is always a pleasure to be in the house. You are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Stay right here.
Last, my goodness, 3 years did not have the Jeffery Osborne Golf Classic due to COVID. It was back, took place in Providence, Rhode Island, and we had a great time the last couple of days. And so last night at the closing party, it's always great when you see the entertainers come up there perform, and so we were treated to this great sing-off involving legends here. And we're talking, of course, Smokey Robinson, Johnny Gill, Jeffery Osborne. Great time had by all. So I just want to give you all this treat here to close our show out. Here we go.
Almost, 40 singers? Since we opened? How many years? This is going on 10. No, but since the COVID, we had to shut down. 3 years. Let me say this, you guys, because it is important while we have everyone in this room that we understand something, that God is still on the throne, and we are so blessed. Listen, y'all can say what you want, but we are so blessed. I wish I had a witness in here tonight to be standing in front of each other tonight. God is truly still on the throne. He's covered us with his blood, but there's been so many people that didn't make it through this COVID that is no longer here, but yet we're still standing. And I think we should give God a big round of applause tonight. So I ain't come to preach, but I just want to let y'all know that I have no shame in my game in knowing that if you've been through some ups and downs and some changes and turnarounds, and you understand that when you come through it and go through it, that you understand that you can't do it by yourself. It's only through the power of that man that sits high and looks low and knows everyone's heart. And I just want to give him some praise and give him some acknowledgement tonight, because without him, we wouldn't be standing here in front of y'all tonight. So,
this is a true blessing right here. Because Mr. Smokey Robinson had a very severe case of COVID. So we are blessed that this man made it through what he went through with COVID.
Yes.
And I mean to tell you, I know it was tough because I was calling every day praying for this man. So God is real.
Yes.
And like you said, my brother called every day, y'all. Every day.
Yeah.
I love him.
Now, Uncle, before we introduce you, because everybody knows who you are, but we're going to still do that anyway. I asked him a few weeks ago, we were playing golf, and I said to him, one of the songs came on, and I said to him, Uncle, let me ask you a question. I said, when you just ride along or you go to different places and you hear all these songs that you've written, I looked at him and I said, do you just ever stop for a minute and go, damn, I wrote the hell out of this song. Damn, I'm a man. I said, if I was him and God had given me that gift and talent with that pen, y'all couldn't tell me nothing. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you, but one of the greatest, not only just an entertainer, but just one of the greatest human beings on the planet. And do you know, my 40 years of being in this business, my greatest reward is having people like Uncle Smokey and people like Jeffery Osborne, who has been a part of my life and an inspiration to me. So, y'all, before we get ready to give it up, and let's give Uncle a big round of applause, and let's celebrate him like we've never celebrated before, because he's so deserving. Give it up for my Uncle Smokey Robinson!
This is one of the greatest songs ever written by y'all, and everybody on the earth knows this song.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day.
All right now.
It's cold outside. I want to live. Yes, I am.
I guess you say what can make me feel this way.
My girl, my girl, my girl. Oh, my girl, my girl. I got so much peace in me. I got a sweet song, and the birds in the tree. Well, now,
I'm talking about my sweet, sweet, sweet little, my sweet girl, babe. Talking about my girl, talking about but what about but she's mine. I said, she's mine. She's mine. She used to be my girl. Used to be my girl. Oh yeah, my girl. Wait a minute, not you too. My
for you to do. I know you wrote some prayer, but if I had a chance, can I get it back? Can I get it back? Can you get it back? If I had a chance, can you get it back? No, can you get it back? No, you can't have it back. I don't care what you do or say. Still can't have it back. 'Cause she's my girl. I told you. Serious, bro. I told you she was my girl. You didn't believe me till she told you she was my girl. But that's okay. It's okay. It's alright. It's alright. You know what? I'll show you. Let me show you how I can get it back, though. Show you. I'm gonna get down on one knee. I'm gonna get down on one knee. Don't get it mistaken, I'm not keep sweating, I don't have to beg, but I don't mind. Baby, said I need a brother show, said I owe you. Said I don't brother show me down there. I know it's over here, but I just want to tell you.
The Jeffery Osborne classic, Smokey Robinson, the greatest songwriter ever. Come on, E! Y'all, we were playing the video, and I heard, he went, who is Smokey Robinson? Let me tell y'all something. I'm about to institute a black quiz for every future potential employee. They gonna have to, your black card is in review status right now. you gonna have to it's in review status, Kamani. First of all, your goddamn name is Kamani. And you got the blackest name in this whole office. You got the black. He talking about I was born in 1998. I'm like, I know shit before I was born. Y'all, he ain't know who Smokey Robinson was. He ain't know. So Kamani got some homework. Kamani got to go watch the Motown documentary on. Yo, you got Showtime? Oh, don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. It's all right. We got Apple TV and Roku in here. Your ass gonna watch that damn Motown documentary with Smokey Robinson and Berry Gordy. Then you gonna watch that. Then I'm bringing in tomorrow the DVD, the Blu-ray. First of all, you got a DVD player, a Blu-ray player? See, that's that bullshit right there. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the Funk Brothers. That's the sound behind Motown. You ain't never heard of Funk Brothers? You never heard of Funk Brothers? You ever heard of Temptations? Well, shit, thank goodness. He heard of somebody from Motown. The Funk Brothers. Without funk, you ain't got none of the hip hop today. It's the Funk Hey y'all, I'm letting y'all know. You got some homework. HR. I'm putting his ass on probation. His black card is in review status. It's in review status. Kamani got some homework. Lord have mercy. Woo! He didn't know who Smokey Robinson was. Man, I tell y'all right now, the future of black America is grim. Ooh, Lord. Okay, let me go, y'all. Let me go. Do you know who Berry Gordy is? Shit, well, thank goodness. You know who Berry Gordy's partner was at Motown, right? Smokey Robinson! You lucky Henry took that camera out. You lucky Henry took that camera out. I will put your... Come here. Come here. Come on, come here. He didn't know who Smokey Robinson was. Y'all, he got some homework to do. Lord have mercy. If I brought Smokey Robinson on the show, he wouldn't know who the hell he was. He'd be like, how you doing? How can I help you? All right, y'all, we gotta go. Support the Black Star Network. Oh, by the way, here's the deal. Go to the app. Go to the app. You need to go to the app and watch the damn Smokey Robinson interview. Go to the app. You need to watch the Smokey Robinson interview. All right, y'all. Download the Black Star Network app, where we try to educate young black people about black people before they were born. Download the app, Apple TV, Android TV, Apple phone, Android phone, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Also join our Bring the Funk fan club, send check and money orders, P.O. Box 57196. You know who Stevie Wonder is? Know who Stevie Wonder is? Thank goodness. You ever heard Teddy Pendergrass? You ever heard of the OJs? His ass just said, I don't know the song, but I heard of the OJs. He said, why would I know an OJ? Your black card is no longer in review. Say what? Say it again? I know a Future song. I know Megan's song. You got the wrong one, player. You got the wrong one. Kamani. You don't want this smoke. You don't want this smoke. You don't want this smoke. J. Cole, you don't want this smoke. Kamani, you don't want this smoke. Nah, you don't want this smoke. You don't want that. If I had to pull my iPhone out, pull your iPhone out, your shit ain't that deep. Ain't that deep. You be going to Apple Music trying to keep up. It ain't gonna work. To see your check and money order, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash out, $RM Unfiltered, PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland@RolandSMartin.com, Roland@RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Be sure to get a copy of my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America is Making White Folks Lose Their Minds. Available at bookstores nationwide. Target, download your copy at Audible, and be sure to pre-order my next book, This Generation Don't Know Shit About Old School Music. I'm just messing, y'all. All right, y'all, we'll see y'all tomorrow right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Holla! Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Pull up a chair, take your seat. The Black Tape with me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show, Get Wealthy, focuses on the things that your financial advisor and bank isn't telling you, but you absolutely need to know. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network.